Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we dive deep into company filings and try to find the juicy bits that the press releases might gloss over, like a magician hiding a rabbit in a hat. Today we're unboxing a current report from Atomera Inc, and let me tell you, this one is a bit of a mixed bag, hinting at both progress and perhaps some underlying challenges. So what are we looking at here? This is a Form 8K, which is basically a company's way of telling the US Securities and Exchange Commission, or the SEC as everybody calls it, some important news that happened outside their regular reporting schedule. Think of it as a company's urgent bulletin board. This report was filed on the 28th of October 2025. And it's all about their financial results for the 3 and 9 months that ended on the 30th of September 2025. Atomera Incorporated is a company focused on specialty chemicals or advanced materials. You know, the kind of stuff that goes into making semiconductors better or more efficient. They've been working on some interesting technology. Their stock, which trades under the ticker symbol Atom on the Nasdaq capital markets, is what people invest in. This report touches on the financial numbers that drive the value of those shares. The main event here is item 2.02, which is all about their financial results. On the 28th of October 2025, Atomera put out a press release and an investor presentation to share how they did financially for the last quarter and for the year so far. Now, typically when companies put out these reports, they try to put the best spin on things. But what we love to do here is to cut through the fluff and see what the actual numbers are telling us about the health and direction of the company. The press release and the investor presentation are attached to this report as exhibits, which means they are officially part of the government record. So the press release we are looking at, Exhibit 99.1, is where they announce their financial results. The investor presentation, Exhibit 99.2, is usually a more visual way to digest these numbers, often with charts and key takeaways. They are both crucial for understanding the company's performance. It is important to note that this information is being furnished, not filed. With the SEC, this is a subtle but important legal distinction. It means that for most purposes, the SEC is just receiving this information, and the company isn't taking on the same level of legal liability as if they had formally filed it under certain sections of the securities laws. Basically, they are saying, here is the info, but don't hold us to the fire as strictly as if this were a full quarterly or annual report filing. Now, typically in these filings, we'd be looking at detailed financial tables. However, in this specific 8K report, the primary focus is the announcement of results, with the actual detailed financials to be found within the attached press release and investor presentation. Without those specific tables directly in this 8K, we can't dissect them here. But based on the report itself, it signifies that Atomera is sharing its performance for the period ending the 30th of September 2025. We can infer that they're likely reporting on metrics such as revenue, net income or loss, and possibly cash flow. Signed by Francis B. Laurencio, their Chief Financial Officer, this report confirms that the company is communicating its financial standing for the period. When a CFO signs off, it means the company's leadership is putting its stamp of approval on the figures being presented. Now, let's speculate a bit on what kind of story these financials might be telling us even without the direct tables here. Companies like Atomera are often in a growth phase, meaning they might be investing heavily in research and development, which can lead to higher expenses and potentially a net loss, even if their revenue is growing. So, we'd be looking for signs of increasing revenue year over year or quarter over quarter. That's generally a positive sign, showing they are selling more of their products or services. Wednesday also be keen to see if their expenses are growing faster or slower than their revenue. If revenue is rising and expenses are under control, that's a recipe for profitability. If revenue is stagnant or declining but expenses are soaring, that's a red flag. For a company in the semiconductor material space, we'd expect to see some connection between their financial performance and the demand in the broader semiconductor industry. Are chip makers buying more materials? Is Atomera getting new design wins? These are the kinds of questions the numbers should answer. A key thing to consider with companies like Atomera is their cash burn rate. Are they consistently spending more cash than they are bringing in? If so, how long can they sustain that before needing to raise more money through stock offerings or debt? This is crucial for their long-term survival and growth. The investor presentation likely would have highlighted their progress towards commercialization and any secured partnerships or customer agreements, which are vital indicators of future revenue streams. Looking at the broader picture, Atomera's success hinges on the adoption of their proprietary materials and technologies by the semiconductor industry. If their innovations lead to significant performance improvements for chips like making them faster, smaller, or more energy efficient, then their financial outlook should be bright. However, the semiconductor industry is notoriously cyclical and competitive. New technologies can take a long time to gain traction, and there are always competitors vying for market share. Risks might include, but are not limited to, the pace of technological adoption, competition from established players or new entrants, and the overall health of the global economy impacting tech spending. In conclusion, this 8K filing from Atomera Inc. is essentially a notification that they have released their latest financial results. While we don't have the detailed spreadsheets here, the fact that they are releasing these results signifies a key moment in their reporting cycle. The true story lies within the press release and investor presentation. Investors and observers will be scrutinizing those documents for signs of increasing sales, efficient cost management, and a clear path towards profitability. Any positive trends in revenue growth and a reduction in net losses would be very encouraging. Conversely, stagnant sales or escalating costs would warrant caution. The company's ability to execute on its technological roadmap and secure significant customer commitments will be paramount to its future financial success. Alright, that is our quick decode of Atomera Incorporated's latest disclosure. What do you think these financial results might reveal about the company's trajectory? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this breakdown helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to Corporate Decoder for more in-depth looks at company filings. And don't forget, our Discord community is linked in the description where we have even more lively discussions about the markets. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.